Hello and welcome to this edition of Focus. Our guest today will sound familiar to generations of American and Chinese. For 25 years, Huang Jieping was the first Chinese host and producer on Voice of America. His dulcet tones help narrate some of history's most iconic moments, such as the moon landing, the Montreal Olympic Games, and the dramatic moment when China joined the UN. In 1988, Huang left Voice of America, but not the media industry. He's gone on to be a serial entrepreneur, setting up cinemas, a cable network, and a satellite television company. 81 and still going strong, I sat down with him to discuss his varied career and where journalism is heading. On this edition of Focus, Huang Jieping, story of a news veteran. Mr. Huang, I think most journalists go into the profession because they're looking to be at the centre of history. You've been quite lucky in your career where you've taken part and watched and observed some key events.
Right.
Was this your motivation for going into the profession?
Well, last 50-some years, I really do a lot for reporting some special events, such as the moon landing by Armstrong. NASA gave me a special line over the VOA tower, use Chinese to tell the people around the world about how Armstrong first stepped on the moon. It is a big event for me. I still remember every steps. Also, maybe you still remember, China sent their ping pong delegation to United States. We are at Detroit airport, waiting them come from Canada to US. I follow them 16 days around the United States, give them a report almost daily, twice a day on the air through VOA. And at the last day, I believe he is a leader, come over to me and say, Mr. Huang, we already listened your report. Could you give me a tape or CD? We'll bring it back to Beijing. I believe the tape still at the Sport Authority in Beijing. Yeah. A lot of things are very interesting. The history is just right in front of my eyes.
So you retired at the age of 51 as the youngest retiree, I think that's correct.
Yeah.
At that age, most people would look forward to an easy retirement, maybe go play some golf, some travelling. I reckon you decided to run a cinema, found a satellite TV network, and launch your own cable TV company. Right. I think my question is why? Where did this energy come from?
So after I retired from VOA, I said, let's do something new. So me and my family start build a first 9-screen movie theaters to show the first round movies. After that, I built another 10 screens movie theaters. So I really like it. Then at that time, I still love television. Finally, we start the satellite TV. Gradually, after I finished the satellite broadcasting, then I come back to Washington. Now I want to do something for the people in China, American, Chinese in USA. So I start my 24 hours broadcasting. And I try to broadcasting the news from PRC, CCTV4 news in Chinese and English. After a few years later, some overseas Chinese, they are from Canton. They shake my hand and say, Mr. Huang, I really appreciate your energy, your decision to broadcasting the Chinese news. because communication is a big problem. Let them know that. So they said, Mr. Huang, after you broadcasting those programs, I really appreciate you. We know China now. We know the modern China. Their tears falling in their eyes. Yeah.
Final question.
Yeah.
If you were to wake up tomorrow morning and you're a young man in your 20s, is there anything you would change about your career or do differently?
Well, if I wake up in the morning, I was 21 years old, I would still do the same job I like. I wanted to be a reporter, producer, writer, make good TV programs. I think that is my love. Doesn't matter how old I am. You know, today I'm already 81 years old, but I still, doesn't matter what age I have, I still want to keep my job like today. Yeah.
That's all for today's Focus. We interview people for stories that matter. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.